This right here is a 5-month-old barrel-aged oatmeal stout. And the best part, we've got about 20 bottles of this stuff. So we're really excited to show you guys exactly how we did this, exactly how we bottled it, and exactly what we're gonna do with it next. After a bit of tasting, of course. Let's show you how we did it. So obviously the first thing we have to do is get everything that's sitting in here into here. So I've got an idea how we're gonna do that. Basically, we're gonna set up a closed transfer using the gravity of the whole situation to actually move all of the barrel-aged stout down into the keg. We'll hook up a gas line from the keg back up to the top of the barrel so that it's a closed loop, it's a closed environment. We're not getting any excess oxygen, ruining this now, how old is it? 4-month-old, 5-month-old stout, 5-month-old stout, that's pretty cool. First thing we need to do is open the top on this. The way that I'm gonna do this is I've got the gas line here, which I'm gonna connect this gas post end to the keg, obviously. The other end here, I've got a silicon bung, which I've kind of, just to show you, I've kind of shredded down a little bit so that it can actually fit inside the bung hole of this barrel. Yeah, let's see how we go with that. What I'm thinking is I might just try and, because this has already got a bit of pressure in it, I'm just gonna flush this line out a bit just before I go popping this thing on. All right, let's see how we go. Let's do this part nice and quick. Oh, there's a little bit of gas inside the barrel that just got released. It's not a perfect fit, this silicon bung, so I can only do what I can do, but let's hopefully see if that holds. Now I'm gonna release the gas on this. There we go. I'm gonna connect this bad boy up here. All right, we're good there. That is now kind of, it is leaking a bit of gas, but once it's leaked off all of its gas and we open this thing up, I think we will be okay with the transferring. Now, this one, what I'm thinking first is just in case there's any like sanitizer and stuff still left in this keg, I might connect, wait, is that the, yeah, that's the right, is it? Yeah, that's the right post. So I'm gonna connect this one on here and, come on, son of a bitch. Always helps to, if you're doing things with like these couplers, just like wet them a little bit so they can actually slide on properly. Okay, that fits there. Cool. I'm gonna connect this onto this. And none of these tubes actually fit properly. So I've got like different bits of tubes cut off onto other tubes to like make everything work. Now I'm gonna open this up. Now this first little bit that's gonna come out is gonna be a bit oxygenated because of the oxygen in this tube. So what I'm thinking is, I should have prepared better is what I'm just gonna use this lid. Let's just let a little bit of sacrificial beer come out. I'm so sorry that it's waited 5 months just to be dumped out, that little bit, but now we can connect this part to the keg and we should have a closed transfer going on. So let's look at the scale down there. We're climbing, nice. We are transferring, so I'll stand on this side. We are transferring, so I'm guessing we should have about 20 liters in this barrel. I've taken tiny little incremental samples over time, and it's possible we've also lost a little bit to the angel share. So if you're not familiar with barrel aging stuff, it's more common in the world of say whiskeys, but basically you do lose a little bit to just evaporation and the breathing through the wood. So you get a little bit of evaporation off, depending on if you're in a humid climate or in a more dry climate, you'll get more water evaporation or more alcohol evaporation. So it can change the ABV of the product, particularly with like whiskeys, for example. So American whiskeys like a bourbon, because of the dry arid climate in say somewhere like Texas, the ABV that the spirit entered the barrel in will end up increasing because more water will evaporate. So they might have whacked in at say 55%, and then it might come out of the barrel at 58%. Whereas in somewhere where there's more humid environment, like say Scotland, they might put some scotch into a barrel at 62% and it might come out of the barrel at like 55%. So I don't think we'll have that much of an issue with a 4-month-old barrel, and particularly with a stout. It's not like we're dealing with spirits here, but we might have had a bit of evaporation and just liquid level loss. Any case, that's enough ranting from me. You guys will see me very soon after this thing is carbonated, and we'll start putting this into the champagne bottles. All right, so we're not back for the actual bottling for the rest of the beers yet, obviously, same position, but we have finished transferring. So this ended up transferring out 17 liters of beer in the keg. So almost, 5.5 gallons or whatever that is, full corny keg size. But I do know that there is still definitely some beer left in this barrel. So, as it turns out, we are gonna get to do a little A/B test of bottle conditioning versus, you know, keg carbonation, because there's no point wasting the beer that's left inside this barrel, and I suspect that the bottom of this might have a bit of trub and might be a little bit sludgy, and I don't really want to put that in a keg. So what I'm going to do is kind of tip this barrel and then get the last bits of it out, put it into these 2 champagne bottles, which have already got 1.5 teaspoons of sugar in here, by the way, which is the right amount to carbonate a 750ml bottle. So let's kind of just tip this thing and awkwardly fill these bottles up, and then we'll cap them, and then we'll cut back to when we're actually ready to do the bottle conditioning, the bottle filling with the bottling gun. So let me just take this thing off. Let's pop that, I don't know, around there somewhere. Pop this up back over here. Now, the reason why I didn't really want to do all of them this way is because, as you can tell, quite a lot of oxygen is gonna get into these bottles before they get filled up with beer. So what I was really trying to do by keg carbonating is avoid that. Like, I don't really want all this beer that's spent so long aging to just get ruined with oxidation. But, you know, may as well use these last bits that we have here, because why not? You know, if you guys have experience doing a lot of barrel aging stuff and you've done it just by straight up bottle conditioning, I would love to get your thoughts on all of that stuff. Anyway, this is gonna take a little bit. So how about now I come back to you after I finish bottling this stuff with the this method, and then we'll finish up with the bottling gun, get this stuff all sealed up with some pretty wax, and then I guess we'll, get to tasting. Anyway, I'm gonna click before this makes a mess. All right, just before we actually get stuck into the bottling itself, I want to quickly walk you through the setup and how we're going to go about doing this. Firstly, obviously, we've already washed and cleaned and sanitized all those bottles. But as for the actual bottling itself, we have a bottling gun here that we've used in previous videos. We've got it connected up to the beer here sitting inside the keg. That is connected to the gas that powers all of these taps. That's sitting at about 10 to 12 PSI. But there is also a gas purging function, so if you can hear that, on this bottling gun, which basically allows you to flush out all the air inside that bottle, flush it out with CO2 so you can purge it before you fill it up with beer to better protect that beer from oxidizing. So I got this connected to a separate gas tank at about 2 PSI, because it doesn't need to be super strong, it just needs to kind of create like a blanket of carbon dioxide. Anyway, I think that's everything, so let's get stuck in, shall we? I just noticed that I was having a little bit of a foaming issue going on with this stuff, and it looks like I have got better clarity going on now. So I reduced the pressure on the gas going into the keg to make it less volatile, basically make the movement of this beer a little less volatile and hopefully, you know, foam it up a little bit less. So hopefully that works. Anyway, let's bottle this one. So just play around with it. Sometimes it does take a little bit of trial and error. You know, I'd typically say that have your keg gas to like 10 to 12 PSI, but if you find that it works a little bit better to have it low, for example, this one I had lower, I had this about 8 PSI, this one was about 12 PSI, and you can see the difference in the foam. So, you know, just play around with it a little bit. If reducing the pressure on the keg just by a few PSI helps, yeah, it means the beer will come out a bit slower and this might take you slightly longer, but it also means you're gonna lose less beer and get less foam. So just muck around with it until you figure out what works for you, because every setup is kind of different. There's no one size fits all, so to speak. And now for the piece de resistance. So I am not cooking my dinner in here right now. What I am making is a bunch of hot paraffin wax, because, you know, this is kind of a little special project. It's really cool when you can make a product that you know is gonna age away for a really long time, which, by the way, tastes absolutely delightful. Last bottle I tried to fill only got halfway, so I guess I get a little treat while I do some wax sealing. So anyway, yeah, we're gonna seal all these bottles with wax because I do want these to age for quite a long time. They're gonna sit getting more and more maturity on them as they develop and build some really extraordinary flavors. So why not add that extra special touch of wax sealing these bottles to, you know, just kind of add to the whole flair of the situation with a barrel-aged stout. Anyway, Cheers, guys. Thank you for watching. The tasting is either going to be right now, and we're going to cut to that, or welcome back, brewers and beer lovers, to Flying Wombat TV, the channel all about beer, banter, and bloody good times. And today, after very long wait, we're finally tasting the barrel-aged oatmeal stout. So this is by far the most patient we've ever been on this channel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you had it yet? You haven't had it?
I have not had it carbonated. I've had it when it was flat, have not had it cold, have not had it the way that it's meant to be had. So super excited. This thing spent 5 months in the barrel. It spent a month waiting until we were ready to shoot this video. That's half a year in total. Let's not wait any longer.
Yeah.
Cue montage, let's pour some shit.
Yeah.
I stole your line.
Cue montage.
I was dangerous leaving you here alone. So
we don't even know which is which.
These two are non-barreled version. These two are the barreled version.
Yeah.
Same beer, same malt, same batch, except half was split into a barrel, half was put directly into a keg. What we're just arguing about is because while I went off to find a blindfold, he moves the beers, and now I'm not certain.
Just gonna screw with him.
Okay.
This is a test of our taste buds more than anything.
Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I'll
go first.
You go first.
I'll go first. All right.
So right side was...
My side
barreled?
is not barrel.
No, you said right side's barrel.
No. This side is not barrel. Your side is barrel. All right.
Yeah, I did move them around.
You idiot. Well, hopefully I can tell the difference. You gonna give me one?
I'm gonna give you this one.
All right, here we go. 6 months in the making, and let's see if my taste buds are any good.
Give it a smell. What's it smell like?
That's barrel.
Oh, okay.
That's barrel.
Yeah.
That's barrel.
Yeah.
You can tell.
You can smell it.
That is awesome. That's so cool. Give me a
Oh my God, yeah, you can smell the difference.
You fucking
you wobbly
fool.
ass fingers, mate.
Wow, that's insane.
Yeah, okay.
Worlds apart.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. No,
Sorry, we're keeping
got the
you,
aftertaste.
yeah, we're keeping you guys in suspense. So the barrel used to hold Irish whiskey. You can taste it. You don't taste like, alcoholic burn or anything. What you taste is like,
you have that whiskey aftertaste.
Irish whiskey has this distinct flavor of like fresh fruits, like green apple, pink lady apple, and it's got this like vibrance to it that say a Scotch or a bourbon doesn't have. It's more like fresh, fruity, robust. It's not robust, sorry, light and pretty.
That comes through.
It comes through.
Wow.
So you get this like fresh apple thing going on. Cherries, that's what it is, and cherries. Fresh apple and cherries is what I'm getting from this. I don't know if the cherries came from the whiskey necessarily. I suspect the cherries just came from the effect of the wood and aging and time.
It is strong. That is a strong.
It's like, it's worlds apart. So these are the same beer, but it's black and white. Like,
Yeah.
this one is like smooth and creamy and oaty.
Yeah.
Like, I know that there's oats in it, it's an oatmeal stout, but like, it's the only way I can describe it. It's like oaty coffee and oats. It's like making a coffee, like a long black, and putting a little bit of oat milk in it. That's what that kind of tastes like. This doesn't have coffee flavor.
Yeah.
The coffee's vanished. It's like, wow. That's the benefit of patience. I am absolutely gonna start doing a lot more barrel-aged beers on the channel for you guys. Obviously, we've got a lot of barrels going on behind here. A lot of the stuff is like behind the scenes stuff, things that I'm playing around with, but I'm gonna do more barrel stuff for you guys because this is worth it. It was worth the wait. I wish you could taste this. It's nuts how different this same beer has become.
Difference.
That's just nuts.
This is just more. I don't know which one I still prefer though.
I prefer the barrel one for sure.
I like the smoothness of the regular
like
oatmeal.
the regular oat stout.
You're a whiskey
was a
man.
good beer.
I'm not a big whiskey.
I do love whiskey.
enthusiast.
Yeah, like the regular oat one was always a really good beer.
Yeah.
A lot of beer. Yeah. But
The barrel one is just so much more complex. There's just more happening.
It's very different.
Now, what I wish I could do is taste.
Have you ever brewed a beer like this? It's like the.
No, I brewed like stouts.
Oh, but not barrel aged though.
Not on the channel. And not with this much time in a barrel. This one I left in the barrel for longer than I was comfortable doing.
Yeah.
I was so sure it was gonna get over oaked. And this is the danger of working with wood, is that it gets a bit hard to...
Like me right now.
It gets a bit hard to leave it in there for as long as you'd like, because it gets over oaked and you get too much tannin and astringency and kind of that like lip puckering kind of flavor going on, like almost like bitterness, but not quite bitterness. You can basically get too much tannic flavor from the wood. So it's tricky, especially when you're working with barrels, you know, this size, which are quite small, a lot of surface area to volume ratio. You can over oak it extremely fast. And that's the same for wines, beers, spirits, whatever. It's difficult working in that, threading that ratio. But this one, I left it in for 5 months and I really thought it was gonna kind of kill the beer. I'm so glad I was patient enough to wait 5 months. That is just fantastic. So as a wrap, it's super decadent, it's very rich, heaps of creaminess and silkiness from the oats and the wheat. You can taste that rich malt complexity. It's like really bready, but there's that touch of dark chocolate bite to it coming in at the end. And then there's just the layers of the barrelness to it. So there's that fresh apple you get from the ex-Irish whiskey in there. You can taste the cherries coming in there through the wood. It's just, and then that oakiness, that underlying and just bringing everything together. It's really, really just decadent is the best way I can describe this. And the recipe will be available on the website. We'll link it down below, theflyingwombat.com.au. You can check it out there. The full brew day as well will be available in the little cards that you can watch to go see the full brew day when we originally made this beer. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys next time. Cheers.